Valerie Hansen, The Year 1000, When Globalization Began. Embark on a historical journey with Valerie Hansen as she unravels the fascinating era when globalization truly began. The Year 1000, When Globalization Began, highlights the intricate web of global trade routes that interconnected diverse civilizations and empowered the growth of various religions, technologies, and economies. Contrary to popular belief, Europeans did not invent globalization, but rather expanded upon existing pathways forged by many cultures, including China, the Middle East, Africa, and the Vikings. This book summary delves into the significance of the year 1000 and the various civilizations that paved the way for our interconnected world today.
Unearthing the Roots of Globalization. Valerie Hansen presents a captivating and original portrait of globalization that began more than 1,000 years ago. Hansen debunks the idea of Europeans discovering the world and explains how they exploited established trade routes instead. Her engaging and well-researched narrative seamlessly moves from civilization to civilization, providing both granular detail and evocative overviews of the era. Even those familiar with the time will find many surprises in this history. Whether you are interested in Chinese or world history, Hansen's Unearthing the Roots of Globalization and her previous book, The Silk Road, are definitely worth a read. Globalization, Europe's Contribution. Countering the conventional belief that globalization is a European invention, Hansen, in his book, walks his readers through a historical journey outlining how the Far East, India, the Middle East, and Africa established extensive trade networks way before Europeans. Although Europeans leveraged on these pre-existing trade routes to penetrate various regions rapidly, they did not invent globalization. Hansen argues that Europe merely augmented and changed what was already there. Globalization through Viking Voyages. The Viking voyages to Canada in 1000 opened up a route from Europe to the Americas and paved the way for a global pathway. Leif Erikson discovered America, and the Norse built settlements in Vinland. However, the native Thule drove them out by the early 15th century. The Vikings completed global trade routes, resulting in globalization. Uncovering the Hidden Connections. Discover how Hansen's book reveals hidden connections between civilizations through trade, exploration, and slavery. Learn about the ancient Mayan metropolis of Chichen Itza, which may have been visited by Norse explorers and traded with civilizations as far as Arizona. Explore how the Aztecs unified Mexico and how 3 centuries later, the Spanish used their roads to conquer the region. Hansen's book highlights the start of globalization in the year 1000, marking the beginning of global trade and exchange of technology, religion, and people. Globalization birthed through intermarriage and religion. The Vikings visited the Mediterranean, while the Rus settled Russia, trading with Europe and Muslims. Hansen surprisingly discovered that intermarriage with the locals occurred and religion gained traction globally, leading to globalization. As Byzantium declined, it reached out to the Holy Roman Empire and triggered the Crusades, leading to Islam's conquest of the region in 1453. The Muslim Trading Empire. The Muslim world dominated global trade in the 11th century, with their influence spanning East and West Africa and a trade route running 4,000 miles from northern Europe to China. Author Hansen delves into the historical and cultural significance of this trading network, highlighting the ways in which the Muslim world drove progress in fields such as mathematics, astronomy, literacy, and gender equality, even for slaves. The Global Slave Trade. In his book, Hansen highlights the magnitude of the slave trade, which lasted for 1,000 years and was a widespread business. The term Slav evolved from its original meaning to include slave due to the large numbers of Eastern European slaves. Africans sold 12 million slaves to Islamic traders between 800 and 1800, comparable to the 12.5 million enslaved individuals transported to the Americas. Additionally, millions of enslaved people were taken from Eastern Europe and Central Asia. Hansen emphasizes the far-reaching impact of the slave trade, which was a significant global phenomenon. The greatest land-based empire. The Mongol horde emerged in Central Asia in 1000 and by 1279 had become the largest land-based empire in history, stretching across Asia and Eastern Europe under Mongol rule. This empire was so vast that it was unparalleled before and after that time. Hansen's book paints a picture of a highly sophisticated society in China during this period, illustrating how the Mongol Empire was a significant period of history. The rise of China's global power. China's ascent as a global superpower dates back to 350 BC when traders from Southeast Asia traveled through its overland and sea routes. Hansen's analysis reveals that the country's agricultural abundance enabled farmers to export cash crops, switch to mining or fishing to boost its economy. The book also highlights China's trade balance, which generated taxes to support its government projects. With the currency's acceptance by Japan and Africa, China's global dominance started to soar. Their Admiral Zheng He's fleets of hundreds of ships sailed to the Middle East and along the east coast of Africa to Madagascar in 1405, marking China's significant expansion as a dominant global power. Lessons from Global Trade. The book by Valerie Hansen highlights the domination of Europeans in trade and exploration after 1500, resulting in the fall of many complex societies in America due to conquest and disease. Despite British leadership in trade during the 1800s, China remained uncolonized. The author also emphasizes that global trade in 1000 created winners and losers, leading to resentments and political pushback, which still holds today. Hansen's book offers profound knowledge and evocative language, making it a must-read for history enthusiasts, exploration buffs, students, and even futurists.
As we reach the end of our historical exploration, it is evident that globalization did not solely arise from European endeavors. In the year 1000, when globalization began, Hansen successfully illustrates the complex web of trade routes that existed long before Europe's advent. These pathways connected diverse civilizations, fostering the exchange of goods, knowledge, and ideas. The book also highlights the prevalence of slavery, which deeply influenced the world's economies at that time. This captivating journey through time provides invaluable insights into the foundations of our interconnected world and serves as a reminder of forgotten lessons that could shape our future.